Welcome to Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, Living the Dream, a show that celebrates ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Hear what motivated them to attain their goals, see which circumstances molded their character and turned them into everyday heroes. Learn more about this show and the hosts for Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod TV and radio on Facebook. Now here are your hosts, the Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, Kathleen O'Keefe-Canavas and Lori Boyle.
Hi, and welcome to the show. My name is Lori Boyle, and this is Kat O'Keefe-Canavas, and we are the Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod. We have a great show for you today. We have the founders of Simply Grace, and they are going to tell us a little bit about their business philosophy and their beautiful products. Kat, would you like to introduce them?
Oh, I would. We have Nancy Feth, and she's a professional coach. She's passionate about relationships. Her work with individuals, couples, business, and teams has assisted each in developing relationships that are both authentic and intentional. Clients served range from international organizations to small businesses and entrepreneurial ventures. Nancy Feth specializes in creating environments to foster trust and open communication. She's been recognized as a leader, offering fresh perspectives on challenging situations. Nancy's background in product development, sales, and marketing supports community building and social media marketing efforts at her most recent venture, Simply Grace. And to my left, we have Mikki Lessard. For almost 3 decades, Mikki inspired and empowered thousands of beautiful women throughout her professional career as management and leadership roles with an expertise in divining multi-channel sales strategies through relationship marketing. She's an innovative thinker with awareness and insight into the behaviors and desires of the marketplace, especially female consumers. Mikki observed over and over again a profound yet very simple truth. Women are seeking secure, authentic emotional and spiritual connections and relationships with like-minded women, communities, and brands. Welcome, Mikki and Nancy, to our program today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have you here. It really is. Mikki, can you just share a little bit about your home life and maybe where you live?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I am Massachusetts born and raised, but I'm on the other part of the state. I don't park my car. I live in Munson, Massachusetts, one of the beautiful hill towns on the foothills of the Berkshires. I am blessed with 5 acres of heaven, my little slice of heaven, with my husband, Barry, who were recently married 7 years ago, but he was actually my high school sweetheart 30 years ago.
Wow.
When I was a little cheerleader and he was the football guy. We dated, and he was my first love, and he's my final love, completing my story. The mom of 2 of my daughters are Erica and Kyle, Elise, and I have 2 stepchildren, Jeffrey and Stephanie, and I'm blessed with one of my daughters is married, Erica, with a little baby granddaughter, Madison Tyler, who I'm with every single Tuesday. So that's my life on a personal side.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And Nancy, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am also a mom. I have 3 boys, 16, 19, and 21, which is putting me into that transition stage of life. I live on the South Shore, north of the Cape, in Pembroke, Massachusetts, and have done coaching and relationship work, but also spent a lot of my time being a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, that's
so this
wonderful.
is a career transition time for me.
So it really is, when you have your own business, you can sort of be that stay-at-home mom and put your schedule all around your family, which is really, really nice to be able to do that. Now, you 2 are both the founders of Simply Grace, and as far as I can tell from talking to you and everything, it's your business is with a conscience. You're doing business with a conscience, and which I think is really commendable. Mikki, can you just tell us a little bit about your jewelry line?
Sure. Well, our jewelry line is, we have a few different artisans. Really excited to show you some of our pieces. We have a collection from Venice, Italy, and if you watch one of the other episodes, you can learn a little bit about our story with the connection to Venice and how this all came to be. But we believe each of our pieces that we have in all of our collections, whether it's the Namaste collection, our line from Italy, or our Gentle Reminders, are all handcrafted with women that we're in relationship with. So they understand the essence of our soul, of our brand, and they have created beautiful lines that are a representation of Nancy and I and what we'd like to send out to the world. So this is called Simply Grace, and it is our signature piece, and it really just has this. Life is full of black and white and shades of gray, but the shades of gray to me are sparkly and shiny, and it just allows your soul to have this radiant light and love in the world, and that's really what this piece does. And this is all handcrafted, and this is our little gentle reminder, which in our business, we believe that the words you speak become how you are in the world, your actions. So this is just a gentle reminder to be kind. So I've been wearing this, and it's really amazing what happens when people are like, what does that say? And I say, oh, it says be kind. And they're like, oh, that's a really good idea. Like to think about that. So it's just a little gentle reminder to show up in the world a little bit differently. So those are, we have the Namaste beads as well, which we're not wearing, which are mala beads that are just gorgeous and infused with light and love as well.
The jewelry is just beautiful, isn't it, Kat?
And you are wearing it. And
Yes,
we're so
we are.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
we're
this
wearing
is
it.
this is
Beautiful.
gorgeous. It's going to match, you know, black and white. You can never go wrong with
know.
black and white, and I love this, especially the clear, that looks crystal clear with the black and white. But so tell us about how you are infusing your background into Simply Grace, which is what you're doing now. How's that happening?
Well, the idea that women and men too, but really want to be seen and known and acknowledged is a big part of our business. Creating opportunities where their voices are lifted up in community. And it starts with as simple as a Facebook introduction to people, to inviting them on the radio, to helping them to write blogs and get their word out, and to connecting our community with their work. So it's really about building relationships, you know, and just letting that unfold. And my background, you know, in the work that I did one-on-one with people, time and time again, people are like, you know, but I want to really have my work matter. You know, I really want to live into my calling, and we're bringing that energy into Simply Grace.
So you're stepping into your power, and you know, that old saying, "Get up, dress up, and show up." You're walking your walk and talking your talk. So, how is this all weaving together for you, Mikki? How is this the background that you had? You shared something with us about the fact that your husband now was your boyfriend in high school, and so you kind of brought that background into your presence. And how is that happening with
I thank you for that, because I believe every moment has prepared me for this moment. Every moment on my journey has led me to this moment and this experience. And so when I think back of my journey, of all the relationships I've had from some of the bigger companies I've worked for in a corporate role, standing on stage in front of 10,000 people, being a keynote speaker, and just walking off that stage and having 4 or 5 people come up and say, you just really inspired me. And I thought that's kind of when I woke up, like many years ago, like this isn't about selling products, it's about me expressing my soul to somebody else's soul, which wakes them up. A little gentle nudge, a little gentle wake up. So I just feel like my life is our lives, all of our lives, not just mine, but all of our lives, if we were really aware of this, they're all so divinely orchestrated. And one experience will lead you to the other experience. And most oftentimes it's the lessons you carry with you on this journey that bring you to this moment. So I have many life lessons as I sit in this seat right now that I'd like to share with the world, that we can do life differently. You know, I think women in particular, you know, we are the generations that grew up with the big shoulder pads because we're supposed to be like men, and I am really embracing being a woman and I can be strong, but I can be tender, and I can cry, and I don't have to hold it back, and I can show my truth and my emotions. And so all of this is like the essence of this brand is really allowing a woman to step into her grace, step into her truth. And that's what we're about, you know, this movement of kindness and compassion and love to self first. And that's not egotistical and that's not selfish. That's what we should be doing. We should be owning our grace and then expressing it to the world. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we've often said, you know, we have to take care of what's at home first, and then you lead by example. And so when you know the dog has gotten loose, the cat is tearing up the furniture, the kids are sick, and the baby threw up, you say, and your husband says, so how was your day? And you look at him and you say, with simply grace, I made it through.
This is good.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
That's a really good point,
Yeah.
because actually with the radio, we've had people that have said they've downloaded later to listen to a meditation or an inspirational show. So much like you're doing with your Wicked Housewives show, being there for people when they can listen to it on their terms is part of what we're doing.
Well, we were talking about the big hair earlier, and you know, you can imagine this mother at the end of the day, her hair is standing straight on end, and then she turns on that radio show and does a meditation and listens to Lori actually reading out of the Bible, and you could just kind of see the hair going back down and turning under, and we're back to simply grace.
Yeah, our lives are so fast these days with keeping up with children, putting meals on the table, keeping the house clean. It's unbelievable how fast the days go by. Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about how you and Mikki met and came to have this beautiful company with the beautiful jewelry?
Sure.
Okay.
So we met a number of years ago at another business where we were in sales roles and we were building a sales team. And the interesting thing was we were starting to already live into this dream without knowing it. We had Grace Ambassadors, which are the same name we're going to actually have now for our salespeople.
Oh, great.
And we were connecting as women and helping them build businesses. So we just kept this dream alive. We worked together there. We worked together at the monastery. And we've just been kind of taking each little piece forward to saying, like, nope, now's our time. We almost beta tested this concept 3 times. And not to mention all the experiences in our life that led up to that in the 20 plus years before we knew each other. So when we met, it was a heart to heart and soul to soul connection. Like, oh, there you are. I know you. You know, okay, now let's get busy.
It honestly was like that. It was as if our soul said, oh my gosh, I've been looking for you. And we found each other. It was like a little happy dance. It was quite lovely.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So you guys also met at the monastery? You both were volunteering?
I was working at the monastery first.
Oh, okay.
Supporting Brother Dennis for 3 weeks, which then turned into 3 months, which then turned into 3 years. And
that was in section 1.
Yes.
That's right.
Go back and look at the other Wicked Housewives of Cape Cod Part 1 with Simply Grace, and it's all in there.
So immediately when I got to the monastery, Brother Dennis was trying to influence me just to go and work with him full time. I'm like, no. And then he started thinking, like, is this God talking to me or what? Like, I wasn't really sure. But as I began relationship with them, we saw there is something here that can be commingled. So we were doing another company and we decided to interface it with the radio shows and things like that. And then we were in front of investors and we just started thinking, like, wow, we could do this all together. And then we went over to the monastery and worked at the monastery for a year together. And it was still not what our souls were asking us to do. You know, like I think when we're born, we have
life purpose.
Yeah, we have a sacred contract when we're born, I think, and it was still not quite it. So then we took a sabbatical and closed our door with Grace, with Brother Dennis and the monastery, and we just sat and we were really still. We went away and spoke about our truth and what is our, you know, what do we really, really want to do in this journey called life? And then
came back up for air on the other side, and
here we are.
So we're doing it.
Yeah,
so,
here we are.
Or God said, knock, knock, you're doing it.
Well, you know, and he may have been having you do what you were doing at the monastery because it was the step before you are where you are now. Because I always believe that no just means start again at the next level up. And that's where you are now. You're at the next level up.
You know, and how often we go back and we tap into the energy from that experience.
You do.
We talk
and
about
the people.
Being in a monastic situation as secular people, lay people.
But can you imagine 2 women having the blessing of working at a monastery and being in a sanctuary every day at noon, and then doing the prayers that they do, and really, really understanding. We are totally understanding the Carmelite way. I'm Protestant, and I'm probably one of the best Catholics out there. I understand this way, and I'm so drawn to the rituals and the history and the love of women that that the saints have. And so our patron saint is Saint Teresa of Avila. We just love that chick. She's awesome. She's so good. And so I agree. It's like that's the divine orchestration of life. We would have done this, but it would have had the soul depth that we have now, and the understanding, like, now you're ready. Yeah. Now we're ready.
Yeah, I definitely think that your experiences prepare you for the next experience and the next phase of life. I agree with that.
So, Lori, how did flying 747s prepare you for this?
It didn't at all. I mean, just because you can fly a plane doesn't mean you can be a talk show host. I think I'm proving that.
You're great.
No, I think you're great.
Thank God for editing. You know, I love that. I love editing.
She loves pushing those buttons. You know,
Yeah,
she feels in control.
That's right. That's
We're not going to crash.
That's the
Lori's
ultimate
pushing the
control
buttons.
is editing. But anyway, let's get back to your stuff. Your brand and your logo, I mean, it's really interesting. Simply Grace and the dandelion flower. I mean, how did those two get together?
Do you want me to share a little bit?
Yeah, I
You can
think,
dance.
yeah,
All
we'll
right,
dance on this one. Yeah.
So we love dandelions, and I particularly love dandelions because a very long time ago, in one of the places I was, there was a lot of conversation about judgment. And then I realized the difference between a weed and a flower is judgment. And so I don't see a weed as a weed. I see it as a flower. So the dandelion represents this, I don't know, for me it's little girl things. It's that little inner spirit of making the wreaths with the yellow dandelions, but then taking the puffy white bowl, not bowl, I was going to say bowl, but little puffy ball, and just blowing on it and allowing those seeds to scatter. And you never know where they're going to scatter. And our intention is that it lands on someone's heart. And it was like zoop for me that this is going to be the logo for us, because my little granddaughter was picking flowers for me, and they were dandelions. And she was so excited to bring me the bouquet of dandelions, which were just amazing to me. And then I invited my daughter, who's a graphic designer, to create our logo for us. So our brand mark is a family experience for me. It's like, oh, this is like good stuff. And my daughter created the dandelion logo. It's almost like a heart chakra as well when you look at it. And it also has a duality of community. So it's this beautiful essence of contemporary. It's a contemporary looking brand that has the little seeds. And so we just invite people to be part of community, and then to remember as a little girl the joy that you experience in life. And that's the simplicity of grace. That's the simplicity of remembering and scattering those seeds and being part of our community, and never knowing where those seeds are going to land.
But how did you come up with Simply Grace, Nancy? How did that go together?
Well, there was another business we were doing called With Gratitude and Grace. And the energy of beginning your week with gratitude and ending with grace was just such a great structure for people to just frame out how they do their life. And we said, you know, we know it's not time to do that anymore. It's time to bring it a new way. And we said, it's really simple. It's all about grace. It's quite simple. It's just simply grace. So that's actually how the name came about. And we actually locked that in almost a year ago. Yeah. December, it'll be a year that we went and did our little GoDaddy and locked it up, and have been dreaming about it ever since.
Isn't that interesting that when you find the right phrase, you just go, that's it.
That's it.
You know, and there's no more thinking about it. There's no second guessing it. You're going to go with that one.
Well, and the energy of Simply Grace is it's universal. It's not really ours to own. You know, we're just being entrusted with this movement at this point in time. But people waking up, that's their divine nature and their birthright. We're just sort of shepherding on the path, like, okay, come on, let that voice come out. You know, sing, people, sing.
Creating an awareness.
Yeah, and creating a
awareness.
space for people to be comfortable and to be able to do that, find their life purpose and pursue it.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
You know what I really love about your logo is, excuse me, I'm like getting froggy here with all this rain. You can probably hear it on the roofs here. Is, you know, the dandelion, when it goes from the beautiful flower. And I've always said that a weed is just a flower that got lost, showed up in the wrong place. But if you put it in where all the other flowers are that are the same kind, suddenly it's not a weed anymore. But when you get to that point where it's that fluffy, white, feathery looking seed pod, what do? Do you remember when you were little? Your mom make a wish and blow. And when you do that, the universe is always listening. And so you're spreading that wish for whatever it is across the universe. So tell me, each of you in turn, what gets you up in the morning? What gets you get up, get dressed and show up? What is that makes you do
For
that?
me, it's totally connecting. Like, it's that heart connection to somebody, whether I'm just seeing them or I pick up the phone or whatever. I just know I'm going to have an encounter. I show up to life looking for them. And just like you said earlier about looking into someone's eyes, it's like God's there with you. Having that connection is it for me. Just starting over day in and day out, meeting new people.
And I collect God winks.
You collect God winks. I love that. Give us an example of a God wink for our friends at home that are going, a God wink?
A God wink is those moments when you get goosebumps. That you're like, this is what it's about. This is this feeling that you feel when you're truly connected, heart to heart, soul to soul, and this time face to face. When you touch another human being and you're like, this was all on purpose. Like, so I just wake up every morning and say, okay, what's my God winks? What's my surprises from you today? And I know every moment that I'm going to experience that way of being present in the world, it's gonna create that little shift for myself and anyone that's in my path.
Oh, I love that, Lori. God winks. It's like synchronicity. It's like that aha moment. Oh, I'm on the right path versus, flat tire.
The flat tire happened for a reason.
Right.
There's a
Just
reason.
slow down. What is that God wink there? I'm looking, Lord.
I think they call those blessings in disguise.
Yes.
I'd like lots of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Nancy? What gets you up in the morning?
Well, just being with people, like I said, that connection and being able to share joy and then watch somebody just kind of light up because they were seen. Just that little, you're talking and that sparkle, like you've got that sparkle right now. And
Wow, I'm sparkling?
You are. You should look close at your eyes.
Very good.
Oh, yes, we're
sparkling
sparkling.
up
Talking
there.
about sparkle,
We're
exactly.
sparkling
I'm
with
looking at your
simply
eyes
grace.
sparkle.
Yes.
Yeah.
The jewelry is beautiful. I love this
Thank
little
you.
tassel. And then this is a choker. I don't know if you can see it at all, but it's just beautiful. Everything, all the jewelry is just beautiful. And it's hard to see that it's glass. All the beads are glass, and I've just never seen glass look like that before, but it's really lovely.
It's made with love.
It's really nice. Yes,
And it's
made
all
with
Murano
love.
glass, right?
That's right.
From Murano,
From-
Italy, which
yes.
is right next to Venice. It's a great little island. You can go over there and watch them make Murano glass, and I love it. You should see some of the chandeliers. I mean, they can do amazing stuff with glass there. And this, without a doubt, is just phenomenal. It goes with everything. But then grace does.
Yeah, that's right. That's wonderful.
So very shortly, in like 50 words or less, what got you into this work? Why didn't you go into something else that was of grace? There are so many other things that you could have gone into nursing. That's grace. Or you could have gone into teaching. Why this?
Well, in my personal story, it was about being public with my faith and giving people permission to integrate their life, their personal and professional lives. And I grew up Catholic and had a lot of good memories, but had a lot of challenging situations, and sort of felt like, well, I always had a heart for God, but that's personal, and I'm going to do my professional self when I'm out. And then this chapter of my life, was sort of that knock, knock, God calling. No, honey, you need to be a voice to help people integrate their spirituality and their secular.
Yeah.
So you went from compartmentalizing yourself into integrating
That's it,
to become
exactly.
simply grace.
Exactly.
And so tell us your short little story on how instead of going into nursing or something that, pet store owner, I mean, you can hold those little people.
Yep.
I've always been in inspirational roles, coaching large communities and companies and teams of women. That was my role as a mentor and a business coach. Something happened in my family. I lost a brother to suicide. And I truly was going to shift my life dramatically and go back to school to be a psychiatrist or something like in a counseling role for that. And I really gave it a lot of thought. And I first of all did not want to take the 8 years it would take to do that, because I felt like I was blessed with some information already, and the empathy in my heart is real for human beings, that there are pain and suffering. I've experienced bullying when I was a little girl. I'm experiencing bullying when I was an adult woman in corporate America. And I just thought, you know what, I have a voice to say. I am a strong woman. And if everyone's done DISC, I'm a DI. I'm a dominant, inspiring person. But, within that, there's a tenderness. And my tenderness is what I choose to express now at my last chapter of my journey. Because I feel at 55, almost 55, till the day I go to heaven, I want to be this woman. I want to be this woman that can empower and inspire women to step into their grace and to live their dream and to start a business at 55 if you choose to.
It's never too late.
To remember to be tender, because that's the gift of women. That's our grace, is to be a tender soul in the world, and more compassion, and more kind, and more love.
So can you tell us?
I think that they've got a lot more chapters, Lori. I don't think
do.
this is the last one at all.
No. But can you tell us where we can buy your jewelry? I mean, how can our audience get your jewelry?
You can visit our Simply Serendipity boutique, which is on our website, which is simplygrace.me. And everything you need will be there. The products will be there, direct ordering form, and we'll be shipping it out to you.
And it's absolutely beautiful. So
It
check
is.
it out. Thanks for being with us, ladies.
Thank you so
We've had a
much.
great time. Your jewelry's gorgeous.
It is. We're going to try and sneak out with it on. We're going to try.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining Lori Boyle and Kathleen Cat O'Keefe Cannabis on Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod. Don't forget to like us on Facebook for our show updates, and join us next time when we showcase more everyday heroes.